few weeks ago, what was it, about 3 weeks ago, we had NC Comicon Bull City.
Has it really been 3 weeks?
I think so. Looking at
We
the dates.
oh my god,
One,
it
two.
has been 3 weeks.
Yeah, it was the 10th to the 12th. It was 11, 18, 25th.
Oh
Almost,
my
almost,
god,
almost been 4
2018 is
weeks.
almost over.
Yeah,
I'm not 2018. Oh my god, 2017. See, my days are getting just so mashed up together. I don't even know what year it is.
well, if
I
we,
can't believe that though. Like we're just about a month away from 2018.
I know it's,
How do you feel
I,
about that?
the way this year has gone, I'm okay. I mean, it hasn't been a bad year. It, I'm all right because I mean, yes, we want some things to change, but hopefully going into a new year, people will be more, as people like to say, woke. I don't like using that word a lot, but about life, and hopefully some things can change next year.
Ain't no shame in saying the word woke.
I know there's no shame in it, but you have the people who were like too far gone in the woke spectrum, and it's like, come on. He's like, just dial it back a little bit, but
Like that episode of the Boondocks where Huey goes visit his friend and he has that one friend like he's that poet, the woke poet.
yes. So there's nothing
That
wrong.
episode is my favorite.
There's nothing
So
wrong with the word. It's just you have some people that go too far, are too far gone. But
I feel you.
but the way things are now, topical issues, political politics and whatnot, people need to pay more attention, and that's my spill on that one.
True. Well, it's been a rocky year for me, but I feel like this year really molded me into the person that I am or that I'm going to be. So I guess it could be, well, it's not even over yet, so I can't even reflect on it. What am I doing? It's not even 2018 yet. But hopefully things are looking really good. Will be looking good next year for me.
Mhm. But
Yeah.
you do have positives, and I mean, I know things you shared with me during the year and seeing where you are now. There are a lot of positives.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I am at a better place than I was earlier this year.
Mm-hmm. So,
Um, did
so
you enjoy your Thanksgiving?
I did. It was nice. I mean, we went
Do you have
to
the
yeah, we went to a neighbor's house. We've gone there the last few years, and it's always nice to see people and to see that just to see people you only. In some ways, you see them like maybe like once a year, but it's nice to kind of like catch up a little bit.
what
What
kind of food did it have?
I think it was like Cajun turkey, macaroni and cheese balls, was it collard
Like
greens?
macaroni cheese balls?
Yeah, they make
I
them.
never heard of this before. What is this glorious object? It sounds amazing.
I'm going to find a picture and send it to you. But it is macaroni and cheese inside of like crusted ball of cheese, like a layer of cheese. I think.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm going to find a picture, and I took pictures.
That is making my mouth water right now. I'm
Uh,
hungry.
where are my pictures? Oh, goodness gracious, I don't see them. But they were. Oh, here it is. Okay, I'm sending it to you right now. All right, there you go. It's macaroni and cheese inside of a little like crusted ball shape. Okay, yeah, I sent it to you on Messenger. But they're really good. But they had ham, cheese rolls, and the usual Thanksgiving dishes. What about you?
we so because we're from the Caribbean and West Indy area, Panama and all that stuff. Panama's not all that West Indy, but we actually had some oxtail, and I haven't had oxtail in so long, and that's not something that you usually have at Thanksgiving, but we had some, and it was so amazing. Noah and I went to my mom's house for Thanksgiving,
Okay.
and we ended up waiting. Like we came too early. We didn't start eating till 8 o'clock. It was 8 o'clock. I'm like, what is it? It was black families have. No, I don't even want to say black family. It's Latin families because I've been to um, other Thanksgiving like with American people and white people and black people and stuff, just American people. And then it's something about the Latin family where, or just maybe foreign. I don't know if it's just a foreigner thing. We just always start everything really late, and it's so annoying. We were starving, and we fell asleep on the couch while we were waiting for food.
What time did you get there?
We got there. It was close to 5:30 when we got there. We didn't start. We didn't eat till 8 ish.
That's too early. That's too
I,
late.
exactly. I'm just like, what the heck? If I had known, I would have stopped by somewhere, picked up a little mini snack or something.
Because you mentioned oxtail. I haven't had oxtail since college. Oh Lord.
Oh, God, I love oxtail.
Uh,
Looking me up myself even more hungry.
ah, well, don't look at the picture I sent you of food until later. But,
Yeah.
but
So speaking of, since we're on that topic,
yes,
what are some things you're thankful for?
thankful. I'm thankful
Yeah.
for family, friends, just I think opportunities that may not present themselves to me before, like just being able to take chances or um, being able to have things that we take for granted. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, and I know this is not like our year end recap, but I've been thinking about 2017 a lot in the last few days, and um, just being able to have this roof over your head, a place to eat, food to eat, place to sleep, and things that you don't have to worry about when you do. But then even being able to say, hey, I want to go take this trip somewhere, like going to Florida earlier in the year, like these are just things that it's like not everybody can do stuff like that, and so just being able to have opportunities. I mean, and things I'm working on in life, so just just I'm just thankful for just what I have, and I know I'm where I work toward having more things for myself later. But I'm just thankful for the life I am able to live. I hope that makes sense.
It did.
Okay.
See, I'm thankful for this roof that I have over my head. I have my own place after struggling for so long, moving in and out of houses that I really didn't want to be in. I'm thankful that I have my own place, my own room that I can call a studio and create artwork in. And, I'm thankful for family, friends, people, that I have a job, car, little things. And I'm thankful for, being able to create, being a creative. I'm thankful that I was blessed with that gift because, I don't know what I would do without art. I don't know who I would be without art. So thank you,
Yeah.
higher being, for blessing me with the awesome powers.
Yes. Thank you to the higher being, higher intellectual. Yes. Thank you. As
Yeah.
and the one thing I can say I've come to learn is that life isn't perfect. We're not perfect people, but our experiences help make us who we are, and the gifts that we're given help influence the things that we do. And the fact you've embraced your artistic side, that's a calling.
It is. And it's so interesting because it took me so long to really understand what I was supposed to be doing with my art. I knew I wanted to do art, pursue painting and costume making and everything, but I just didn't know how I would go about doing so and making that a career. But now it's all coming together.
It is.
It
And
sure is.
and
And so, on that note, let's just take a little break and we'll come back with some more interesting things to talk about.
Hey cats and kittens, you're on with Selena the Wonder Cat, and you're listening to the epically awesome Blerdlines Podcast. Thanks so much for listening.
hey, we're back. Now we started out the episode talking about. I mentioned NC Comicon. So, did you enjoy the convention this year?
I sure did. I really did.
Good.
It's the first convention I was able to actually relax. It's becoming it's becoming more of a routine for me to attend these conventions. And usually I would just go in and I would be really tense and nervous, not wanting to speak with anyone. And this time I actually branched out and I spoke with people. I asked them about their cosplay. I asked them about their social media. I network a little, and that's the first for me because I usually don't do that. I expect people to come to me. And so by doing so, by just being more open and actually communicating with people and conversing with them, it actually, I met a lot of amazing people. And I was part of an anime music video too. Not anime music video, what do I call them that? But basically a cosplay music video. And so it's on YouTube, and I'll link it whenever we do post it. I'll send a link, and it's pretty awesome. So check it out.
Nice.
Yeah.
I want to see that.
You should. How was yours? I know you were linked up with your bang for the most part of it. So.
Yeah, secret's out. Yeah, okay, there you go.
Oh.
That was that was fun.
They don't know who.
Yeah, they don't know. She knows. Um, it was fun. I mean, I mostly spent a lot of time working the BlerdCon booth and meeting, getting to talk with Hilton and learn about BlerdCon and just. I went to a few panels and remember the Steven Universe panel, the fan panel we sat in, and Pearl came in. That was fun.
Yeah, I actually got to shake her hand. The voice actress of Pearl, Dee Dee Magnum.
Yeah.
Geez, I forget. I don't want to butcher her last name, but I actually got to shake her hand. She's so nice.
Yes.
We're going to take a picture with her, but then she got bombarded by a bunch of people, so she had to leave.
I know. Yeah, I was gonna say I wanted to add hey, can you take a picture? But it was. I know, but
yeah, everybody started to recognize her. Like, oh God, it's Dee Dee. We were in the middle of the hall of the convention, and so there are a lot of people just passing by, and we just want her to get trapped. So.
Yeah, Dee Dee Mango Hall. That's what I was saying. Awesome. I still have this book on my desk.
I have to look at it in my car. I still haven't unpacked everything from that weekend, and it's been 3 weeks.
Wow.
I'm terrible at
that. You'll get it done. But
and
I would say also seeing DMC, it was fun. To talk to him again for a few minutes, and then went to the Black Heroes Matter panel they did Saturday morning. And then also want to give a shout out to Blurs Together. it's a funny story. We met them, and then I called you after I met them. They knew about us, and what because I saw your friend Eddie, and I was going to like say hi to him, and he was like a double take because another guy we looked alike almost, and what even makes it funnier because he was like, "Wait a minute, what are you doing?" He's like, "Wait a minute, you're not him." Then the guy I had on my Doctor Who jacket, and the guy had on a Doctor Who T-shirt, and then they're like, "Wait a minute, and like, both our names are biblical names." And like, this is funny. And then we're just talking, and I mentioned this show, and like, your Blerdlines Podcast, we heard about you a couple of days ago. I was like, um, this is a first, like, hearing our name on the street. Yes.
That's interesting. Was he? Remember, I believe it was last year you showed me that photo of a doppelganger of yours. It could have been him.
It could have been.
Because he looked just like you.
I was like, yeah. That was it was the actor, yeah, Samuel Anderson. Like, if that's him, he disguised himself pretty well. But
Yeah.
But overall, the con was nice, and yes, I was paired up with my bear. First time I think I've said that out loud.
Oh, look at you. I love.
You know, the funny thing is, you were the first. You were the,
blushing like a girl right now. Oh.
Stop. You were the first friend of mine that she met.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, you were the first. Yeah.
I hope you could use the impression.
No, I think she likes you.
That's cool.
Yeah, listeners like, what are they talking about? Don't worry about it. You know. But
and y'all got to see Thor.
Yes.
Did you like it?
I did. It was really good. It was. I'm not gonna give any spoilers. It was.
Yeah, because I haven't seen it yet. I went to Justice League.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about that in a second. Thor, I think it was the better of the three Thor movies. I mean, I still like number one, because it was the first one and things in the MCU, and Thor 2 it has a special place there too. But Thor Ragnarok, there was a lot to love about the movie, and the extra credit scenes alone, especially the first one, it got me hyped for what's to come, and that's all I'm gonna say. I'm gonna say just go see it.
I will probably go see it this weekend. So
Yes.
I don't feel anything for me. We can discuss later if I see it this weekend.
Okay.
So Justice League.
Hype for me.
Justice League.
Hype for me. But
I have mixed feelings about it. And I just, I don't want to play the devil's advocate, but it's just it wasn't enough. I don't know. It was missing something. The graphics were great. It was outstanding. So I will say that they did do this one thing that I've always asked that DC movie have, because I don't like some of their previous movies, especially Dark Knight. I don't like the Dark Knight series because it's always so dark. And I get it, yeah, it's Dark Knight, but it's just like it's too realistic. If I want to watch a Batman movie, I want it to look like it came out of the comic books. I don't want it to look so depressing. I fall asleep every single time I try to watch any of the Dark Knight movies, and it's terrible. Like I just hate that. It's just so bad. And I don't want to fall because Batman's my man. I love Batman, but it's just I can't stay awake. But this time they actually entertained me, and it was a bunch of colors, a little pop of color here and there. Graphics were great. The fight scenes were fantastic. I loved it. The only thing I really had like an issue with was the acting, somewhat. It's just it was like awkward and cringy at some points. Like it's just there were just certain parts of it that just made me just bundle up and just like, ew, why are you doing that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I agree.
What are your
There were some things about it that I could tell stuff was missing. Or I know the runtime was an hour 59. I think for some reason they had to cut it down, so I could tell that they were missing some scenes that probably would have fleshed out some areas.
Yeah, see, I wouldn't have mind sitting down for another half hour or so if they had added some of those scenes. But I saw a few clips of the deleted scenes, and they look pretty good.
Yeah, I don't know why they
The
did
deleted
it.
scenes look the best though,
Yeah,
for some reason.
yeah. I'm gonna be curious when the extended cut comes out, and I hope it's like here's a 3 hour cut, and I'll watch it and just figure out, okay, that should have been in there, that should have been in there, but it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I liked it. I mean, I hope that. I know the sad thing is that it didn't make as much money as the previous films in opening weekend. So
It flopped so
I
hard.
I hope that we get more, and that's why I'm the optimistic hope, but I'm also being realistic about how money makes money. So,
Yeah, but you have to think there are so many terrible movies that have sequels.
yeah, yeah, that's true.
Movies that didn't make enough money in the movie theater that still have sequels. So um,
That's true.
we might get a sequel.
I don't know. I just need to see Dark Side on the big screen at least once.
I know.
That's all I wanted to see, but I don't want to give any spoilers, but I thought, and then we move on after this, like this. I think it was a good attempt, to have to bring the Justice League to the big screen in less than 5 years. They did yes, it was kind of rushed because Man of Steel was 2013, so that was 4 years ago. Yeah, so in 4 years we got a Justice League movie. That's not bad, but
No, it's not bad at all.
but
I think Marvel just kicked their butt this year when it came to movies. They kicked ass.
they did. So I mean,
DC, come on, step it up. Although I am extremely excited about that Harley Quinn Batman movie, animated movie.
can we talk about that?
Have you watched it?
Yes.
Did you see that? That I only saw like a few clips from it. But did you see that one clip where she's barking in the car?
Uh-huh.
That was hilarious.
Next time you're in the area, I'm just gonna give you the DVD and you tell me what you think.
Okay. I mean, I was gonna stream it online somewhere, but don't condone piracy or anything. But yeah, I was gonna find it. Netflix has it or something. I don't know.
No, I'm gonna say it like this. It was a good movie. I just have like a lingering question mark about some small parts of it, but it was still a good movie though.
I just still want to watch it only because of that part where him, Batman, Nightwing, and Harley Quinn are in the car and she's just passing gas like crazy because he won't stop.
That was very funny. That was very funny.
I loved it. And Batman was like, "It smells like discipline."
Because Melissa Rauch, voicing Harley Quinn, if you seeing her in Big Bang Theory, I just kept hearing her as Bernadette fussing at Batman. I'm like, this works though. So, but okay.
It does work because Bernadette, she has that like squeaky, high pitched voice, and it's awesome. I love it.
It is.
It pairs well.
It does. But yes, I will definitely share that with you.
Awesome. Okay, well, on that note, we're going to take another break. and we will come back and we'll talk about some things like a little serious. So I can find my words. I'm finding them eventually.
I'm Frankie K.
I'm Chancellor D.
And you're listening to the Blerdlines Podcast.
Hey everyone, welcome back. And on this segment, we're going to discuss stereotype as a Black nerd or blurred. So we're just going to start off with, well, I'm pretty sure everybody knows the definition of stereotype or stereotyping, but it's basically a widely held but fixed and oversimplified image or idea of a particular type of person or thing. And so basically, you just get fixated on this one idea. For instance, when you think of African American people, what are some of the things that pop in your head? African American Black people, sometimes you jump to conclusions of them being ghetto or too hood. Some people immediately just, oh, you're Black, so you must like not black chicken, fried chicken. Also, they think that we're uneducated, poor. Then there's also stereotyping in the Black community in general. Sometimes we're supposed to look a certain way, act a certain way, wear Jordans, name brands. And when we stray away from that image, we get outcasted within our own community. So we just want to touch on the topic of, being a blerd and some of the struggles and things that we had to go through because we're stereotyped in a certain way. Do you have anything to say about that?
I do. It's interesting in this thing when you're like discovering who you are like as a person, and even like when you start becoming like the nerd or geek, and especially when you add like you're a Black person that's into geek culture, and people want to say, oh, that's white, or you're acting white, or you're an Oreo, or anything else you want to say, and they can think of. And really, it should just be, you're expressing who you are. You're not acting anything else outside of who you are. It's just who you are. It's just our skin pigment. Is this the determining factor? But people like to take that and say, well, because your skin is this color, you need to be a certain way, and all people who are like this act a certain way. And it's really disheartening, especially when you have it coming from people within your community or your ethnicity who want to tell you, they try to make you say what you're not, and it kind of makes you question who you are as a person. But it's disheartening, but it kind of gives you thick skin, though. What about you?
So I do notice that in the Black community, we have a culture, and it's usually, hip hop, gang related stuff. But that's also like stereotyping a Black person in general when you say that. And so when you have people like us who like play video games, and also we like to watch anime, we like to read, we get looked down upon. We'll just say, hey, well, that's not something that Black people do. What are you doing reading books about magic and stuff? That's not a Black person. Or why don't you read some like a Medea's play or something like that? It's unfair that we get treated that way. And we just get shunned. We basically get shunned from our own people because we don't look and act a certain way, and it's not fair. And I also want to mention the Black people who are movers, but they're in a closet because they're afraid of being different and what embarrassment or public shaming they're going to receive if they come out with just being saying that they like certain things that are not typical to the community.
Because were there things that like shows you were into as a kid that a lot of people moved away from that you still liked watching and didn't talk about because they said like they were over it, or
Are you talking about like music wise, video game wise,
like anime, video games, or just anything like for me it was like watching Power Rangers a lot longer than a lot of people did. A lot of people dropped it after Mighty Morphin, but I kept going for a good number of years, but just never talked about it because I was afraid people would make fun of me.
Oh yeah, I still watch Cartoon Network, and then all my friends would just be like, "Why are you watching that stuff? It's for babies." And Cartoon Network is where it's at. I still watch Cartoon Network to this very day. It's just me. That's who I am. I love cartoons. So that would be something that people would actually just laugh at me or just try to put me down for if I admitted that I still watch cartoons. I was going to middle school wearing a Powerpuff Girl book bag, and I got picked on for that. But Powerpuff Girls is the shit. And then you still have, I see a lot of my friends today. I guess you can call them friends or acquaintances. I don't know, but people I used to go to school with, and these are some of the people that they would just pick on me all the time. And now that we're on Facebook, you're seeing that they actually been a fan of like anime or video games this whole entire time, but they used to, um, get on your case about liking things like that. And I find it really interesting that throughout the years, it just made it more normal. Like they made that whole entire culture normal for everybody to the point that everybody feels comfortable saying, "Hey, I'm a nerd, I'm a geek."
Do you think it comes from saying nowadays it's more socially acceptable?
Yeah, it is a lot more socially acceptable. And I have mixed feelings about that because it feels like I've always been like this. So, it wasn't fair that I got to grow up with that hardship. But now that people are just open about it, it's cool. It's fun. We're all having fun. And I just think about it. It wasn't fun for me back then because I used to get picked on for things that I love doing. And just to see that you've been here the whole time and now you're just treating it as if it's nothing, it's not fair.
True. I mean, what do you think is like the one like a lot of people would say, well, black people don't like anime, but then you love Dragon Ball Z. Or it's not anime?
Oh, I can't
Yes, it is.
that.
It is anime. Come on now. You
I hate that so much. Oh, Dragon Ball Z is an anime. Yes, it is. It was created in Japan. It's a Japanese anime. Pokemon is an anime. You can't sit there and pick and choose what is and isn't part of the geek culture. You can't do that.
True. I mean, what like Sailor Moon, Cardcaptor Sakura, all these things like they're all anime, but I I wonder if it's a the thing about not knowing that it's called anime. Like I know for me, like I didn't know it was called anime until years ago, but I still like watching the shows anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess the question is where does that I don't want to say lack of ignorance come from, but it's like the misunderstanding. Does it come from the families that we're people are around, or does this kind of go back to cultural norms of saying people don't do X, Y, and Z?
I feel like it's a little bit of both. Um, but of course, with having culture, you have to have your family. Think we create traditions and culture as we live and time goes by. And so, in a I guess when it comes to people who look at that and say, "Oh, that's not anime," they're just. I feel like they don't want to admit that, like basically how and I don't want to sit, if I say that, I'm going to get dragged on the internet. But what is the word I'm trying to find? I feel like some of these people are just ashamed of the simple fact that they are into certain things. Like that whole meme that was going around a while ago. How are you a grown ass man and you're still watching Dragon Ball Z?
Yes.
And he just the guy, he's just rocking along to the theme song and everything. And that's the type of hate that we just project on people. We shouldn't sit there and project that type of hatred on someone because we feel insecure. That's the word, insecure about what we want and what we like, and we shouldn't put people down because of that.
No, we shouldn't.
Yeah.
It's weird. It's kind of hard. I mean, not hard, but it's when you think back to like life or how life has kind of gone. Like this being the people we are. Like I remember like in middle school, like some of the after school stuff, like coming home and watching Dragon Ball Z or any other shows on Toonami, but I wouldn't talk about it really
Mm-hmm.
because I wasn't
Because
sure.
you're afraid,
Because I eventually like found friends to like share these stuff with, but it was kind of like, oh, okay, you like this too, okay, or especially in college, like going to HBCU. Oh, that was an interesting. I mean, not it wasn't a bad experience, but then like finding some of like my friends, like Charlie Rocket, for example, I met her because I had on a Naruto T-shirt, and we were like I sat behind her in class one day, and that's legit how we became friends. But prior to that, I didn't know that we both like anime. So it's just interesting because when you think about HBCUs, people say, well, you're black, black people are X, Y, and Z, those the stereotypes. So it's like black people are going to be into the hip hop, rap culture, and yes, that's there, but we're not all going to be that. I mean, I'm thankful for the experience there to show me that our people are diverse. I mean, I always thought we were, but you have to just find the right people to embrace it.
That is true. I was also listening to a podcast a few weeks ago, and the podcast has an interesting name. It's called the Idaho Uprising, and they have this episode called Blurred, and they were discussing how stereotyping in the Black community is part of white supremacy. Do you agree with that?
Huh.
Because it was the white people who molded the image of what Black people should and shouldn't do, how we should or should not behave. And then, when that moves on to us, and then we turn it into our own thing, and somehow we, separate ourselves and we judge one another for not holding this image that was created by people who don't even look like us.
That's true, and I get that. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
I found that interesting that she saw it from that perspective.
And I mean, you could take it one step further about religion and how religion was forced on people who had different beliefs. And it's been passed down to generation to generation, whereas people
Mhm.
believe a version of a religion that was, in a lot of ways, forced on them.
That's true.
So I agree with what the person said.
I do as well. Yeah, it's an interesting topic. It's also, I guess what people really do think of blurbs. Just even without knowing what we look like, we automatically assume that we be just, antisocial or just weird. This one person in the comment section, we posted about this on the POC group timeline, and they said something about, being perceived as a weeb when you're not, or fat, you know, or saying that it's a white thing. And I'm just like, so what is a white thing? What is a black thing? What is an Asian thing? What is, a Spanish thing? I mean, we do have things that, you know, I keep losing my words today, but we do have things that basically make our culture and make us individual people, every culture individual. But at the same time, what is being white or being black or, listening to a certain music, how does that make you white and not black? Watching certain shows, how does that make you Asian and not black? You know,
That's a good question. And
it just doesn't take away from your blackness. No matter what I do, I'm going to look like this for the rest of my life. My skin is dark, so I am black.
'cause
And for you to take away my black card because
I'll put it to you like
I like
this.
things, then yeah.
I'll give you an example. I have a friend in college. He we were talking about things that we enjoy, and I mentioned to him that I like Star Wars. He's like, I can't mess with that. But this is this is the same person that turned around and got me to start liking Ancient Aliens. So it's
Mm-hmm.
like you do have a bit of a nerd to you. You just don't go with the heavy sci-fi stuff. But he likes playing his fantasy games with his son and stuff like that, like World of Warcraft and stuff like that. So it's like we all have things that make us who we are. It's just you have different layers.
That's true. And so we're going to take another break, and we'll be right back with the rest of the show.
Hey everybody, welcome back. So one of the big issues right now is the case revolving around net neutrality, which it was heavily in the news 2 years ago under the Obama administration, and now with an FCC is trying to reverse that decision essentially. If am I right? Is trying to reverse it.
Yeah, trying to repeal it.
So that would mean if that is repealed, means we could be paying higher prices just to simply access internet.
Just to simply access Facebook, they'll charge you for Facebook, they'll charge you for Skype, Twitter, Instagram, anything you want to use. Netflix would be like, any streaming service would be on its own package. So if you want Netflix, Hulu, HBO Now, HBO Go, that will be on the package itself. And they'll basically pick and choose when or which websites will operate faster than other websites. So, say for instance, when you ever decide to launch the Blerdline website, it might take you ages to get on our webpage to the point that you'll get frustrated and say, screw it, I don't want to get on there anymore because they're picking and choosing websites that they want to operate faster. And I mean, that could also go for Facebook. If you're from what I read somewhere, I believe if you don't pay a certain amount or if you don't pay for a certain speed, then it can, they can reduce it and, you'll get things running slower.
Because
So we do need to fight against that. And unfortunately, there's not much we can do but to call our representative, the state representative or people, who represent us and talk to them about it and protest.
True, and that's for some a definition, and this is coming from Wikipedia. Net neutrality is the principle that internet service providers must treat all data on the internet the same and not discriminate nor charge differently by user, content, website, platform, application, type of attached equipment, or method of communication. For instance, under these principles, internet service providers are unable to intentionally block, slow down, or charge money for specific websites and online content. So yes, everything we said, it would cost more, and they could do what they want.
Yeah, basically they could do what they want.
So,
and they can collect your data and do whatever they want with the data too.
So yes, please speak with your representatives because
all of them.
It's scary. I mean, yes, this is considered in the area of like the first world problems, but how do you apply for jobs? Let's just take for example, people. Yes, sometimes you go to the store or a restaurant and apply in person, but most places want you to apply online. So if you can't, I know that may not take up a lot of bandwidth and everything, but even something simple as that could be slower, and that affects your livelihood.
Mm-hmm. Also, think about local businesses or people who are starting companies, and you need a website. And so now it's basically going to go back to the old times. Like if this does go through, it will more than likely have to be word of mouth. We won't really have the internet to showcase our work because they're doing away with the whole net neutrality. So we really need to fight this. You have to think about how this affects anyone. You won't be able to Google certain things. People who are doing research papers, they're going to have to probably pay for a service in order to use search engines for researching. It's unfair.
It is. I mean, yes, and you all know our show is on YouTube, for currently, and that it's a lot of factors that we have to take into account. So it's not just us; it's everybody that could potentially be affected by this.
A lot of people will be affected by it. It could ruin a lot of people's careers. Exactly. I just don't understand how they're not processing that through their head. It's just going to ruin a lot of things. We strive off the internet. We need it. That's how we, progress. We communicate that way. Why take that away from us?
True.
When I think about these people in the White House that are just wanting to push us forward, it just makes me realize how evil the government is. I mean, I know they were no good, but it just, just people could be extremely evil. And it's not fair because we didn't ask for any of this.
And also this goes down to voting.
Yeah, it just goes down to voting. And I bet you wouldn't have that freaking orange buffoon in the office. We more than likely would not be going through this. If anything, it wouldn't be something that we should be worried about, unfortunately. So.
And when it comes to voting, it doesn't just count seeing whose name is on the presidential ballot. You must vote in every election, primaries, everything, because even the smaller level affects the higher level.
Exactly.
And I know this didn't mean to be like a infomercial, telling us what to do, but you gotta think about your livelihoods, people.
Yeah, you do. Don't take things for granted because you know what? It's more than likely you might disappear out of thin
Exactly.
air.
So,
Oh
yeah.
God, we went so dark. I didn't mean to do that. No.
No. Well, but these topics need to be discussed.
Yeah, it does need to be talked about because it's not always rainbows and sunshine and unicorn farts.
I mean, because we could use this space to just talk about our love of pop culture and call it a day, and that's always fun.
But we do care.
Yes, and I mean, I know a lot of times I don't pay attention to the news, but just seeing things happening overseas and looking how the weather is going in different places, like there's a lot going on than what we see every day or get up in the morning and check our Facebook feeds. Like there's a lot of things happening that we just don't know about. And I'm gonna leave a final thing for myself. Like this evening, you got to see the International Space Station fly overhead, and it was visible for like 4 minutes. And seeing it, yes, it was like a little like light moving across the sky. But earlier we talked about taking things for granted. On the flip side, you look at that, at the human spirit, human ingenuity. That didn't just the space station didn't just wasn't just come out of thin air. We strive to put it together as a united front of the human race, and I'm pretty sure aliens as well. But um, we can do things when we put our minds to it. I'm saying that to say, there's a lot of things we take for granted, but there are a lot of great things out there that simply are over our heads, literally in that case. But there are wonders out here, and there are more things we can do than just looking at our phones all day. We have to enjoy life.
That is true.
That is my PSA for the moment.
So maybe if that whole repeal does pass, it might give us more opportunities to live life more than just the internet. So who knows? Who knows what's going to happen? But it's still something that's very. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a heavy moment.
I feel like a parent who's talking to their kids about drugs and sex.
Yeah.
That's what I feel like.
This is when you have that the more you know star flies overhead.
Yeah.
I think I know the name of the episode now. The more you know. But we want to thank you all for listening to the episode, and if you didn't have a chance to, please check out our last episode of the Black Heroes Matter panel from NC Comicon Bull City. And if you're first time listeners, we thank you for checking out the show, and we invite you to stick around for more.
Okay. But yes, I really do thank you and appreciate every single listen. Please subscribe to us on YouTube and like us, follow us on Twitter and also Instagram and like our Facebook page, Blerdlines Podcast. Yes. And we're out.